Mehmet Celik is joining us now. He's the editorial coordinator at the Daily Sabah. Mehmet, just your thoughts on these developments in the last few minutes there in Aleppo. We've seen the Syrian army celebrating the fact that the YPG-held Aleppo areas have now been retaken by the Syrian army, and the Syrian army has been celebrating this.
Well, I think this was the inevitable result of YPG dragging its feet for not abiding by that March 10th agreement. And even though there was a separate agreement for the Aleppo province, YPG violated that agreement more than 100 times, as far as the information we have received from Syrian officials. When that is the case, when it was supposed to be demilitarized, I mean, there wasn't supposed to be any group members in that area, and the fact that they have attacked, the government forces, and even since yesterday, when people were trying to be evacuated, they were also targeted. This was the inevitable outcome of that hesitant to integrate into the Syrian government. I think the YPG is following the line that some actors in the region are trying to bring that instability into Syria, and it will be a historic mistake if they continue to stay in that line. I think sooner or later they'll have to either be facing Syrian government's forces as well as Turkey's, probably if needed. Or they will have to integrate and participate in rebuilding of a unified Syria.
And if they don't participate and are in that rebuilding of a unified Syria, Mehmet, what happens? Because we've seen that they have not abided by the agreement, that March 10th agreement, which ended in December last year.
Well, this is, this is the inevitable will be that they will face basically the hard force and the it will turn into hard conflict, which Turkey perhaps will be also involved in clearing those terror elements from northeastern Syria. There is Turkey and the Syrian government has given the YPG elements about a year time, but no tangible results or no tangible steps. And not even willingness was there to integrate into Syria. But that patience, that reaching out to YPG and saying, let's talk about this and let's do this through this transition through peaceful means has not been met by the YPG. And that demand, the extended hand, was not held firmly and was not held in a positive manner. So now I think the ultimate result will be that those terror elements will have to be cleared from Turkey's southern border and from Syria's northeast areas. This is important, again, not because it only poses a threat to Turkey from northeast Syria, but it is important for Syria's future, for Syria's territorial integrity. But I think more importantly, it's also that Syria's unity is important for the region as a whole, not just within Syria. This is something that is important, but for the region, this needs to be eliminated, and Syria needs to be starting to rebuild itself through unity.
And we're just looking at pictures right now of the Syrian army celebrating the retaking of the YPG-held Aleppo neighbourhoods of Sheikh Mahsoud and Ashrafia. What happens next after the retaking of these two areas? Is there instability that you foresee in other areas? Could it expand to other areas?
Well, the Syrian government actually framed that this operation was limited to Aleppo region. So we will see how that expands, if it expands. But right now, as far as the information that we have, it is supposed to be an operation limited to Aleppo. However, the YPG integration and laying down arms and elimination of that terror element is not limited to Aleppo. So that will eventually come. And I think the the tensions will further escalate because the YPG will try to sabotage this process, and YPG will try to, bring that conflict to I think bring somewhat divisions within Syria, and they will exploit that situation, the security situation, to further bring in perhaps even other regional actors into the game. And this is something that is not going to be easy to be tackled with, but it is a sensitive process that I think the sides are very clear. And I think that one of the more important points here is that the U.S., which is the main backer of the YPG, has a vision for Syria that is built based on a unified Syria. What instigate this situation is, I think, the United States' main ally in the Middle East, Israel, is instigating the situation by pushing forward or trying to say that we will support the YPG. And I think this brings more chaos, and it makes the situation more complex in northeastern Syria.
Mehmet Celik, thank you very much indeed for bringing us all this analysis on this news that we've just been hearing there. The Syrian army celebrating the retaking of YPG-held Aleppo neighbourhoods. Thank you so much, Mehmet Celik.